What's up, YouTube? Obviously, things look a little different right now. I've put up a new background, as you can see. I don't just make beats, I sync my music. And if you can see my sweatshirt there you go. Same thing right there. I don't have merch available yet or anything like that, but I am basically in the process of doing a couple of designs and trying to figure out how to put this stuff together. If those of you want to get merch or something like that, I will be putting that for you guys here in the coming weeks. But so far, the designs are looking good. I'm liking what I'm getting in the sort of samples and stuff. I just have to kind of pick and choose what I want to offer and how I want to get that basically distributed to you guys, basically. So a little bit of fine details that need to be put on, and then I'm definitely going to let you guys know about all of that. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Today, I want to talk about a concept that is extremely frustrating. It sucks. I wish it wasn't like this. I wish that the world didn't exist this way and it wasn't sort of a fact of reality, but it is. And musicians tend to not always be so good at this, and they tend to really kind of get this wrong in the music industry, and especially in the music licensing industry. So I want to make sure that I convey how important it is for your career and my mindset about how I get around this really kind of tough topic. And the concept is, what have you done for your clients lately? Or what have you done for your fans lately? Or what have you done for the people that rely on you for your musical skills lately? So many producers and musicians maybe get a little bit of a hit. They get a big break and they get a little bit of success under their belt. They get a song that goes somewhat viral or mega viral. You land some sort of a deal. You get a TV placement, right? You get something that actually is really something worth applauding yourself for and celebrating. But then a couple months go by and there's not a lot of new activity happening, right? At least not as big as that big hit that you got a couple months ago, or that song that really blew up for you, right? And the temptation is to always want to look back and kind of celebrate yourself over and over again and think, well, I got that placement, 2 months ago. And that's what you keep sort of telling yourself, that that's where your worth is the thing you did in the past, right? And there's a sort of temptation to want to hold on to those successes and those, even if they're small, just hold on to them, and not always, and basically not think about, basically what I'm trying to tell you guys is you need to start letting that stuff go. Like the stuff that you did in the past that was an accomplishment, celebrate it when you get it, enjoy it while it was there, and then when the moment is over, you got to let it go, and it's no longer a part of your identity. It really can help you, you can feed your confidence for sure to know that you've gotten something accomplished with your music career. But this is what I see happening, and I've just noticed this, especially with producers that might be in their 40s or 50s or even older, is they had a little bit of success when they were in their 20s. They got signed, they had a deal, they went touring, they worked with a popular band, or they were in a studio with a popular producer or songwriter. And they're still holding on to that now, 20 years later, 30 years later. And that's still how they're defining themselves and their worth in the music industry, is that thing that they did years ago. Now, a lot of you guys, maybe if you're in your 20s or 30s, you don't have that much time on earth yet that you would have that kind of experience. But I'm telling you, that starts, that 20-year, 30-year kind of looking back and celebrating things or holding on to something that you accomplished years ago, that starts in small stages. It doesn't just happen overnight. And it starts within those first couple of months. So if you get that opportunity, you get that placement, you get that big hit, you got to let that go within a couple of months. Enjoy it, buzz, enjoy that buzz and have a good time with it, and call your friends and family and post it all over your social media, like have fun with it, right? But then the next thing needs to come in, which is, what have you done lately, right? What have you done with your music lately? How have you served your clients lately? What music have you been producing in this last month? This is one of those things that it's always frustrating, because I'm always, I made a video about this a couple months back about like embracing your inner shark, the idea that sharks just can never stop swimming. They have to keep swimming in order to keep the oxygen going past their gills to breathe, basically, to be able to live. So sharks never rest. And our creativity as music producers is kind of the same thing, that we can really never take too much time off, or else we drown. We just start to suffer creatively, and we might run into more writer's block, and you kind of get rusty with your musical ideas, right? So my thing, and I know this here with YouTube, is that I know I've put out, I don't know what it's been now, 200, 300 plus videos here on my channel, But I know that if I take just 1 week off of this channel, probably 50% of you, not in a bad or negative way, probably 50% or more of you will forget that I exist, right? Why? It's because there's so much other content on YouTube. You're subscribed to so many other channels. You're watching so many other stuff. You probably see my videos, once or twice a week. But if you stop seeing me for a week, you might think, I wonder what happened to Jesse. And then something else will get your attention and you're moving on to something else. And I get forgotten, right? And that's because at that point, I would have failed this one test, which is, what have I done for my subscribers lately? It doesn't matter that I put out a video that inspired you 6 months ago or 8 months ago, and that was really great. What have I done for you lately? What have I done for my subscribers lately? And then, what have I done for my music licensing partners lately? What have I done for my library partners? This is how you're going to be basically held on to and pulled into the inner circles of music libraries, okay? If you're, and I see this really fairly common with a lot of my students is, they hear about music licensing, they know a little bit about it, they get excited, and they crank out 2, 3, 4, 5 albums like within the first 6 months of being in this business. I mean, they're just on productivity overload, okay? And then, it takes time to see those royalties, and then it just kind of, they don't feel like they're getting the placements that they thought they were going to get. And it's like, hey, crickets, what happened to that producer? Where did he go? Why isn't he sending us music anymore? What happened? Well, that producer forgot this concept, which is that you can't just put out 6 albums, 5 albums, wipe your hands, walk away from a library partner or somebody you're working with and think that you're going to come back in 6 months when you're feeling like it and go, hey, well, I gave you all that music 6 months ago. Let's go. Get me back in your inner circle. They're always going to be thinking, well, what have you done for me lately? You took 6 months off. You're gone. You're just crickets from you. We need somebody who's always going to be supplying us and being in contact with us and being there to help us with all of these opportunities that we get. Some of them are really lucrative. Some of them are not so lucrative. But the ones that are the most hungry, the ones that are always available, the ones that are doing stuff for us lately are the ones that we are going to continuously feed opportunities to. So I know it's frustrating. It sucks. It would be great if life was a little bit different. But it's not, and it's just short-term attention span in the modern age, and also I think just kind of a innate human quality that we basically remember the last thing that we did, right? And after a couple of months, you kind of forget things that sort of aren't that important to you. So if I'm, getting music from students, or I'm doing my opportunities, and I notice that some people are just kind of quiet. They're not really submitting anymore. They're just sort of dead, right? They're just not doing anything for the opportunities that are in front of them. My first assumption is, well, it sucks. They kind of, lost interest. But then eventually that thought's not even in my brain. I just don't know that they exist anymore. I just don't think about them anymore. And that's because they're not doing things. They're not staying relevant with their licensing partner. So this applies to everything, right? Not just music licensing, but for all aspects of life, that everybody's always going to be subconsciously assuming and thinking to themselves, what have you done for me lately? And if you can consistently answer that question with, well, I've supplied music and I'm available and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and you're constantly just kind of in people's worlds, like music libraries worlds or supervisors or whoever you're partnering with, and you're just kind of in their minds on a consistent weekly, monthly basis, you're going to get remembered, right? You're going to get those opportunities, but you can't get that big placement, get that big hit, get that one contract, and then sit back on that and brag about that and how cool you are and how awesome that is. Again, I don't want to take away from the fact that you should celebrate your wins. It's definitely crucial, but you don't stay there, right? You have to move forward. You have to move on from those victories if you want to succeed. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked, leave a like. Make sure you do subscribe.